That good stuff. So TikTok and YouTube both know that you like what we're doing. Good morning to the YouTube audience. We just came up on YouTube. How are you? This is a simulcast between YouTube and TikTok. So if you got questions about cruising, you got questions about travel, you got questions about just about anything to do with travel, feel free to jump in and let's talk about it. Desiree Hall over on the YouTube side. Thank you so much for the super sticker. That's very kind of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But how's everybody doing? Where is everybody today on this amazing day? It is a Sunday. Sunday. Thank you so much, Joe. That was a lot of fun. If you have not seen the show with Tony from last Thursday, that was a lot of fun. Tony is a super nice guy. That's Tony over at Lolita Loca. I finally know his last name. Thankfully. No, that was a lot of fun. It was very kind of Tony to offer to do that, to join us. Hey, Mindy, how are you over on the YouTube side? Good to see you. If anybody's got questions at all about cruising, travel, and all that good stuff, jump in. But Tony had some great, one of the things I really loved about talking with Tony is that he had just finished a transatlantic cruise. I mean, he had literally just finished one. Had some awesome advice during the show. I think my favorite thing was he said he only packed about 5 days worth of clothes for like a 22-day trip or whatever that thing ended up being. And he said he built in laundry days into his travel. What a brilliant idea. So he didn't have to take all that much. Hey, good morning, Stacy Lynn from Seattle. How are you? Good morning, Jessica Ray. How are you? 48 hours from boarding time. Yay, Jessica, you're going to have an amazing time. You're going with your mom. It's going to be so much fun. Cruising, cruising is just fun no matter what. But hey, you're going with family members. That makes it a lot more fun. So I can't wait to see the pictures. You are in the Facebook group, I know. So I can't wait till you start posting some photos in there. And anybody else who's watching, if you're not in our private Facebook group, go find us. Where's Walter Travel on Facebook? And you can post your own pictures. And by the way, the question I always get is how do you contact Walter? If you click my little logo here on TikTok and then you go into the link tree, that very first link is going to be contact us. Over on the YouTube side, there's links in the description, but you can also go into the link tree and click contact us. That takes you to our online calendar. You set up a time to chat with us. We chat, and then we try to find you the best cruise, the vacation, whatever it is that works best for you. Can I talk about Disney cruises? Oh, yeah. Are you kidding me? Disney is awesome. So we have been on the Disney Fantasy. And of course, so right now, we got the Wonder, the Magic, the Fantasy, the Dream, and the Wish. The Treasure is coming out. And we don't know the name of that new one that's being prepared for the Asian market. But Disney cruises are absolutely amazing. So they have some of the best food, some of the best service out there. Obviously, if you're going with families, everybody knows Disney is a family cruise line, but it's also an excellent cruise line for adults. Now, there is a premium price on Disney Cruise Line because A, you're paying for that Disney name. B, you get the Disney experience with the characters and all of that. So, some people ask me, well, is Disney worth it? I can't answer that question. That's totally up to you, whether you think the premium is worth it. I will say you're going to get some of the best food and some of the best service in the industry on there, comparable to Virgin Voyages and Celebrity. So if you're used to the service and the food on those two cruise lines, that's where Disney is, maybe a little bit of a step above in some respects. So Disney is an outstanding cruise line. If you're considering it, you just have to compare and contrast how the pricing and what you're going to get for the value compares to what you're going to get over on any other cruise line. But it is absolutely amazing. You're trying to get Amanda down to a carry-on, Joe. That's hard to do, man. I think we are now down to like this coming week. So 1 week from today, we'll be going on the MSC side. We're probably just going to bring 2 carry-ons, 1 each, and that's it. And then I'll have my backpack with all my camera gear. But 7 days in the Caribbean is super easy. You got a couple of pairs of shorts, you got some t-shirts. I'll bring 1 pair of jeans, nice jeans to wear to dinner with a couple of button-down shirts. I'm done. I'm totally done. And there you go. So that's what I'm really excited about. This Mindy is over on the YouTube side. Her and Zach are going to be on the ship, the same ship, but they're going to be in the yacht club. We're going to be in the standard balcony. So it's going to be awesome to compare and contrast the exact same ship, exact same sailing, but they're going to be in the yacht club with the butler and all that high-end service, and we're going to be in the rest of the ship with the regular service. So it's going to be awesome to be able to compare those two. Cindy, good morning. How are you? Good to see you over there on the YouTube side. Welcome, welcome, welcome. But if you're new to the channel, you're just tuning in, you're wondering, why is this guy talking to me with a cup of tea? I am an independent travel agent. So we are a full-service travel agency. We're known for cruises, but we are sending people all over the globe on land tours as well. Plus, we offer custom luxury travel. Pretty much anything that you can think of, we can offer. But today, it's all about talking about cruises, ocean cruises, river cruises, whatever y'all want to talk about, we're here. Oh, we can even talk about Christmas, which, like I said, is 216 days away. Yes, I do have a countdown hanging out. That's why I always look over there, because I have a countdown that starts at 364 and it counts all the way down. I love Christmas. What can I say? I absolutely love Christmas. Cheers, cheers, cheers. Hey, Cindy. Oh, so Cindy said butler service is the way to go because of the Haven. Now, the interesting thing about, the Haven is on Norwegian Cruise Line, you can get a great cruise, whether you go, standard or in the Haven. But I have heard so many people say that on MSC, if you really want a good cruise, you have to go yacht club. I don't think that's fair. I think you should be able to get a good cruise. You're going to get 2 completely different experiences, but you should still get a good cruise both ways. So that's why we're going standard on this first time. We do plan to go with the yacht club on our second one. But this first one, we decided, because you can't go yacht club and then go standard. So we decided to go standard and up. So, I'm really hopeful. I've heard some good things. I've heard negative things. So I'm really hopeful to see what MSC is truly, truly all about getting on this ship. Why don't I drink coffee? I drink tons of coffee. But when I'm doing a lot of caulking, it kind of I start to cough because it starts to get caught in the back of my throat. So when I'm doing a show, I do tea and I do water, but I will probably drink about 8 cups of coffee in a standard day. I know that's way too much, but it's what I do. I'll have a couple of cups of coffee in the morning and then in the evening. How is the Freedom Carnival? So the Carnival Freedom have not been on that ship yet. We've been on the Carnival Mardi Gras. So I can't tell you about that specific ship, but I can tell you that our experience on the Carnival Mardi Gras was fabulous. Carnival is a fun cruise line. If you have not subscribed to This Cruise Life yet, Mark and Rocky, you really should. I think they've been on somewhere around 60 cruises on Carnival. And Mark actually is just getting ready to fly over to Barcelona to meet up with the Carnival Venezia, which will be making her maiden journey over to New York City. So I know that Mark has cruised on that specific ship, but I can tell you as a cruise line, Carnival really impressed us when we were on the Mardi Gras. It was an absolutely fabulous cruise. So which cruise line is preferred? All of them. We've been on 8 of them so far. MSC will be our 9th. And basically, every cruise line has its own strengths. Every cruise line has its own weaknesses. And you just have to go into it knowing what you're getting yourself into. So, when we go on Princess, Celebrity, certainly Virgin, Holland America, we know that's going to be a more adult-centric cruise. It's going to be more about, hanging out by the pool, enjoying good food, watching really good shows. When we go on Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, Carnival, Disney, it's going to be more about the family, more about, active type things to do. So I don't have a preferred cruise line. I love them all. My goal, there are over 320 cruise ships out there right now. If I could, I would cruise every last one of them because I want to experience the ship. I really don't have a preferred one. So going on your first cruise to Jamaica, any suggestions on excursion? Well, the big one is that, Dunn's River Falls or something like that. We've never done that because It just looks like it could be slippery or something like that. I think the last time we were in Jamaica, we did a zip line and rum punch thing. It was hilarious. We were sitting in the outside, like in the back of a 4x4. And I think we were the only Americans. We had all Brits and Australians with us. And we had a gallon of rum punch, which was probably a bad idea for a zip line tour. But it was a lot of fun. So I believe that's the thing we did the last time we were there. And then one time we were there with some friends. We did a really nice Panama Canal cruise, and we just went shopping that second time. But the zip line with the rum tour was awesome. When are we going? Next Sunday. Actually, at this time, we will be at Port Canaveral. So we won't be live next Sunday morning. Might go live in the afternoon, depending on how the Wi-Fi is on the ship. But next Sunday morning, we won't be live because we will be at Port Canaveral. Do we have any tips on vacationing in Puerto Rico? Well, San Juan. So we haven't actually vacationed in Puerto Rico, but we stop in San Juan quite often. Hey, Kenneth, how are you? Good morning to you. Good to see you. Thanks so much for joining in. But we have taken some food tours in San Juan. There is a website called Flavors of San Juan. What's really cool about, and that's all one word, Flavors of San Juan. And Flavors of St. Thomas. If anybody watching is going to St. Thomas, they're there as well. But what's super cool about doing a local food tour is it's obviously done by a local. So one, you're going to get introduced to maybe 5 or 6 places that you probably would not have gone to on your own. But two, because it is a local, you can ask some questions, like, hey, what should I go see? What should I go do? Like one of the cool things, apparently in San Juan, the only place to fly a kite is at one of the old forts there. They have this huge, they actually have a red shack there where you can rent kites and all of that. So that was a lot of fun to learn. But if I had time in Puerto Rico, I did find some really cool looking coffee tours that are, I can't do them when I'm on a cruise because we don't have the time to go do them. But if I was staying in Puerto Rico, I would definitely go do a coffee tour. I'm a big coffee fan. So I would go do a coffee tour if it was me. Hey, Let's Talk, how are you? NCL Escape, fabulous ship. Absolutely fabulous ship. We did that ship. My favorite restaurant was the Food Republic. Loved it. 3 times on a 7-night cruise. And if you're on a cruise that goes to St. Thomas, we booked the Sunset Catamaran, which we had to do through NCL because the return time of the catamaran was sail away time. So, of course, the ship had to wait for us. But NCL Escape, fabulous, fabulous. You're doing the Horizon, fabulous, absolutely fabulous. Enjoy that. Philip, you're going to the Galactic Star Cruiser. Enjoy it, man. You're going to be one of the last ones to do it. So enjoy it. I love it. Carnival Venezia, my thoughts. I can't wait to go on it. I mean, I've always wanted to go on a Costa cruise because I love that Italian styling. And I'm so happy that Carnival has basically left it alone. It still has all that Italian styling. It's very much what I would call an adult Carnival ship because it does not look like any other Carnival ship out there. And then when the Firenze comes out behind it, it's going to be the same thing. So she looked gorgeous. And I was really excited to hear that she's coming down to Port Canaveral for the winter season. So what is it? Next week, the week after, she's going to make her journey from Barcelona over to New York City. Make sure you subscribe to This Cruise Life, all one word. Mark is going to be on that cruise, and he's going to be taking us all along for the journey. And then she will spend the bulk of 2023, 2024 in New York City, and then she's going to come down for the winter season here in Port Canaveral. So I'm very excited. I cannot wait to get on this ship. I'm very excited about the ship itself and the new Italian restaurants and all. Oh my God, looks so amazing. What's my favorite NCL cruise? Whichever one I'm going on next. We don't have one booked, but whatever one I'm going on next. Seriously, I love all the ships. We've only been on the breakaway class and up. Good question from Kenneth. What's a good cruise leaving out of Galveston? There are so many that are going to be leaving out of Galveston, right? You got the NCL Viva is coming. The Jubilee is coming. Who else is there? Royal Caribbean has the big Oasis class there. They're all, now the thing about going out of Galveston, they're predominantly Western Caribbean because that's all they can do in 7 days. So if you're looking for something that's going, to the East Caribbean or even going to Coco Cay, I think there are a couple Royal Caribbeans that are doing Coco Cay, but that's like an 8 or 9 days so that they can get over there to the Bahamas. So there's a lot of good cruises right now, Kenneth, coming out of Galveston. It just depends on what you're looking for. Princess is there too for certain parts of the season. Galveston is coming on strong. In fact, I printed out an article this morning. What is it? $53 million improvement to Terminal 25 just for the Carnival Jubilee that's coming in, because she's going to be the biggest ship. So they need to, get some new gangways, this, that, and the other. Royal Caribbean completed, I think it was like 100 million plus their terminal just for the Oasis class ship. So Galveston is coming on strong. So if you're looking for an alternative, maybe Florida is a longer flight for you, you're in the middle of a country, look at Galveston. Galveston's got some really nice stuff. But like I said, they are kind of limited to the Western Caribbean just because of where Galveston is, unless they start offering some longer itinerary. Like if they go, 9 nights, 10 nights, well, then they can go a little further out. I think Galveston would be a good launching point for a partial Panama Canal transit. That would be kind of cool. But yeah, Kenneth, there are all kinds of great things leaving out of Galveston right now. You're going on your first cruise in December. Any recommendation for a first-time cruiser? Well, I'll tell you right on TikTok, I have a Cruise 101 playlist. So there's all kinds of tips in there that hopefully will help you out. A couple of things to know. One, make sure you got all your paperwork ready before you get to the terminal. You don't want to show up at the terminal and start trying to figure out, well, what do I need? What do I need to get out? Just have your paperwork ready. You're going to want to have that ID. You're going to want to have your boarding pass out so you get through smoothly. Number two, understand that not all of the ports are guaranteed. Okay, there could be weather. There could be other situations that you will not go to a port. So understand that you're just going to get a day. Just roll with it. Number three, fully understand what is and is not included in your cruise fare. So this way, there's no surprises when you get there. I like to try to take care of the gratuities, before we get on the ship. So this way, it's prepaid, it's done with. Other people like to pay it on the ship. Those are three big things. Just understand what you have going in, and just roll with it. Just know that not everything is going to go perfectly. And when it doesn't go perfectly, you just roll with it. You just kind of flow with it. So, Kenneth, thank you so much for the super sticker. You are so kind. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. Joe, you did Dunn's River Falls 29 years ago. It probably still looks about the same. Carol C is asking, when I travel, do the cruise lines know your travel agent? They might. I don't know. We don't book as travel agent, except like on the MSC cruise, we actually did, where you are taking advantage of a travel agent rate because it's just a last minute thing. And we actually did what we don't recommend that anybody ever does. We had to go guarantee in order to do that. So that meant we booked a balcony. We had no idea where we were going to be. We were assigned a cabin up on deck 15. I think it's in a good location. I have no idea. But typically, we would not do that. We would just simply, like when we went on Scarlet Lady, we book our cabin so that we know right where we're going to go. But whether they know we're a travel agent or not, I really don't know. So can I offer better prices compared to buying from the cruise companies themselves? Generally, it's the same. Where it comes in, where I can do better for you is if we have a group on that particular cruise. Sometimes our group rates are better. And other times, our rates may be the same, but we may have added perks. Like right now on Virgin Voyages, if you book through me, you get an extra $100 on board credit if you book a Sea Terrace or above. That's one thing. We have over 300 groups right now through our consortium that are in Alaska. And you may pay the same price as others, but you may get some added benefits added into your cruise. And of course, if anything goes wrong or you need to make any changes or anything else to a cruise once it's booked, we take care of that. You don't have to call into the cruise line and do all of that. And we can help you with the planning, and we can help you, figure out what all your excursions are going to be and all of that, because we don't cost you anything. So that's the best part. And the biggest difference between going directly to a cruise line and through us is that we are independent. So if we know that there might be another ship or a better itinerary or better whatever out there, or at least something that you should consider, we'll show that to you. Whereas the cruise line is going to make sure you stay lock, stock, and barrel in their cruise line. They don't want you looking at anybody else. But we'll look at what else is out there and just make sure that for what you want to do, you are getting the best cruise. So good morning, Oklahoma. How are you? Is Port Canaveral a good port? It is. It's getting very busy. It has been the busiest cruise port in the world, just in terms of capacity. The infrastructure is not quite there to support that many people, so there have been some traffic jams. However, Port Miami has been known as, one of the busiest cruise ports in the world for a long time, and we had a terrible driving experience they're celebrating the fact that April 6th or April 9th was like their number one cruise day ever, 67,000 plus passengers. We were there, spending 90 minutes driving, trying to get to parking. But Port Canaveral is a fabulous port. And if you're really lucky, like our friend Stephanie, she actually saw a rocket launch as the ship was sailing away. So that was really cool. Done a ocean cruise. Not yet. It's on my list, though. There is a 33-day Grand Hawaii and New Guinea cruise that's sailing this November. I'm hoping they're going to do it next November because I've got my eye on that particular one. But the beautiful thing about Viking, they're all adult, just like just like Virgin Voyages. But I don't think they have anything but balconies on their ships, or at least the ships that I've seen. I think they literally only have balcony cabins, which is really nice. So everybody gets a view no matter where you are. But you're headed out on a cruise on Friday. I'll tell you what, Viking is a gold standard. You got Cunard, you got Viking. Those are two gold standards out there in terms of cruising. So if you're not in our Facebook group yet, please come on over to our Facebook group. Share your experiences. We would all love to learn from you. So yeah, thank you. Kenneth, you have only been on a Virgin cruise. You live in Texas. Awesome. You're thinking of taking a 3 to 5 day cruise out of Galveston. So the thing to know is when you take a 3-night cruise, and I don't care which cruise line you happen to choose, it's basically a Las Vegas weekend. So you have to understand there will probably be a large contingent of people on a 3-night cruise who are there to drink as much alcohol as they can and party as hard as they can because they've only got 3 nights on the ship. So a 3-night cruise is kind of an aberration of what cruising typically is. So I would encourage you to look at that 5-night, maybe even a 7-night out of Texas. So that it's more of a normal cruise. But this is true of any cruise line. Some people are like, oh, Carnival ships are all party. We were on a Royal Caribbean 3-night cruise, and it was totally different than any other cruise that we've ever been on. I was like, oh yeah, 3 nights. Everybody's just trying to party. And there will be a large subset of people that's what they're there for. They're there to do their Las Vegas weekend. I'm going to get every drink I can. I'm going to hit every party I can. And there are events starting at like 12:30, 1:30 in the morning just because of the 3-night thing. So just be aware, no matter what cruise line you go on, if you go on a 3-nighter or a 2-nighter, that is going to be a party cruise. It's going to be different than most other cruises. Cami, what do you recommend for a family of 8, 6 adults and 2 children? I mean, it all depends on what you're looking for. Everybody always asks me this, and it's one of the things that we do as travel advisors. I ask a lot of questions, like what does the family like? Is food important? What kind of activities would the kids want? What kind of activities do the adults want? What do you want to do on your shore excursion? And then we match up the ship. So we have to match up the ship, not the cruise line. Everybody's like, oh, well, what cruise line should I go on? The cruise line is actually almost inconsequential because, especially for families, you got Royal Caribbean, you got Carnival, you got Norwegian, you got Disney. Those are the big 4. And then we even got MSC as well. So there's like 5 that are available from cruise lines. Now, from those cruise lines, well, which ship should we put you guys on? So I don't know necessarily. Now you got some young kids, so you definitely want to look for ships that are going to have splash pads. Or the small pools for the kids. You don't want to have only deep pools where you've got to keep an eye on them at all times. That's certainly one thing you want to look into. But in terms of specifics, there's 5 cruise lines to choose from, and then it's just finding out, well, which ship is going to work the absolute best so that the adults get what they want and the kids get what they want, and you get that happy medium, right? So I'll be happy to work with you, but it's going to be like one of those 5 cruise lines, and look for something that has that shallow pool or the kids splash pad kind of a thing, especially for the young ones. So let's see. You're going on the Legend next Saturday. Have an awesome time. Let's see. You went on your first cruise 3 weeks ago on the Harmony for 1 week. Huge ship and too many people. That's a big ship. You went on the largest ship, one of the largest ships in the world. We went on the Symphony of the Seas in December. She was basically full. For us, it didn't bother us with that many people on the ship because I was actually really impressed with how the ship spread everybody out during the day and at night. But yeah, when you go on an Oasis class ship, you have to expect there's going to be around 5,500, maybe 6,000 people on the ship with you. The nature of that ship. Royal Caribbean, I think if that was too big and too crowded for you, I think the Navigator class is absolutely fabulous. That would be like the Mariner of the Seas. I think the Navigator of the Seas. Those ships are a really nice size. They're the size right before the Freedom class. So the Freedom class is big, then it goes to Oasis class. Now we're going to have Icon class. But that Navigator class, if you like Royal Caribbean as a cruise line, but you thought the Oasis class was too big, maybe look at the Navigator class ship. That's a really nice size ship and a really fun ship. Philip, you're ready to see how my storyline plays out on the Galactic Star Cruiser. There's so many hidden rooms. I really, really, really hope they don't just, demolish the building or get rid of the building. I hope that they reconfigure the whole thing as a Star Wars resort once, they close down the Galactic Star Cruiser. Part of it, I think one of the things that they really missed out on, I don't think they realized how expensive that was going to be for the majority of people. But I think they could do an entire outdoor area with pools and things like that. And, you basically take a shuttle down to the ground to go out to the pool, and then you take a shuttle back up or some sort of like space elevator to go back and forth kind of a thing. So I really hope they don't just get rid of that. Was a lot of work and a lot of amazing stuff in the Galactic Star Cruiser. So I hope that they keep it around. I really do. Best excursion for Grand Cayman? Well, that's Stingray City. Got to go to Stingray City. It is so fun. If you've never been there, that is so much fun. What had been my favorite cruise? That's a great question. That one I can't answer. That was Alaska. That was 14 days in Alaska. We did 7 days on land, staying at all the Princess Lodges, and then we did 7 days on the Sapphire Princess. Without a doubt, that's been my favorite cruise. I want to go back to Alaska. Absolutely just freaking amazing. Everybody needs to go to Alaska at least one time. You really do. For Pete's sake, Princess is coming to Port Canaveral, and we're looking at that. Let's see, they go on sale May 24th, May 27th, something like that. And the very first cruise out of Port Canaveral is going to be the Caribbean Princess on a Thanksgiving cruise for 2024. We're looking at that. Thanksgiving is one of our favorite times to cruise. We have our group cruise on the Valiant Lady, which if anybody's still interested in that, we still have sea terraces available on the Valiant Lady. That's going to be 8 nights, sailing November 18th from Miami. And we still have the $600 bar tab. We still have the $100 extra onboard credit from me, plus another $100 onboard credit for joining the group. So we still have that through May 24th. After May 24th, I don't know if that bar tab is still going to be there. And of course, if anybody is a solo traveler and you have time to go to Europe this year, Virgin Voyages is offering 0 single supplement if you go to Europe and sail on the Valiant Lady or the Resilient Lady this summer. So that's very cool. You can get a balcony for the price of one. Very cool. First time going to Coco Cay next week. If they're an adult-only area there will be Carlos around, I think, winter time, fourth quarter or the first quarter of next year. They're working on it right now, but it is not open yet. Ryan, you're going on to Carnival Vista next weekend. Awesome. Have an amazing time. What are the fuel stations on Landport for cruise ships? Oh, where are they? Oh, at the home ports. The cruise ships typically fuel up at the home port. Sometimes you'll actually see the fuel barge pull up alongside the ship while it's in port. That's why there's no smoking allowed outside when the ships are in the home port. What kind of drinks can we pack in our luggage and bring on the ship? Well, first of all, you should only pack drinks. Most of the cruise lines say you have to carry it on. You can't pack it away in luggage. And that depends on the individual cruise line. Most cruise lines will say 1 bottle of wine per person. Some of them allow soft drinks as well. MSC is one of the ones I know that pretty much says nothing. You can't bring anything on board with you, at least alcohol-wise. So you have to look at the FAQ of the individual cruise line that you're about to go on to see what their policy is for bringing things on board. Yeah.
MSC, you can't bring any liquid, no soda, no water, no nothing.
Okay, so Rebecca is shouting out from the peanut gallery that you can't bring anything on MSC at all. Period. Now, Rebecca would normally be sitting right here talking to me, but she's talking to her sister. I mean, her sister's visiting. Apparently, they're having more fun talking than Rebecca is hanging out with me talking to you guys today. So sorry about that. But she said MSC says, zip, nothing. You can't bring anything on board. Mindy said they're trying to pick between Alaska or Hawaii. They'll do both, just trying to decide which to do first. Thoughts? Why not do both at the same time? Take the NCL Spirit from Hawaii to Alaska next year and do it in one cruise like Stephanie did. Of course, you need to have about 8 available. As far as which one to do first, I mean, you have two different choices there with Hawaii. So you can fly to Hawaii and you can do the Pride of America, which is the Norwegian American flagship. Does the Hawaiian Islands. Rebecca's mom has done it. She loved it. Or if you have the time, you can go from California, go around the Hawaiian Islands and come back. That's usually about a 12 or 14-day cruise because of the time involved to get there and back. And then up in Alaska, if you have the wherewithal, I always say do a land sea tour. If you just go to Alaska and only do a cruise, sometimes you're missing out. However, Holland America now has 14 and even a 28-day cruise, just the cruise itself. Those are amazing. We have one client, I believe she's getting off the ship today or tomorrow. She just did the 14 days. She's been cataloging along in our Facebook group. So if you can only do the cruise, you got to do a minimum 7 if you can do more like 14 days. But I don't know. I don't have a thought on which to do first. It's just whichever you want to do first. But I'm really intrigued. I'm hoping maybe next year we can hop on that NCL Spirit before they cancel all the rest of them and do that Hawaii to Alaska. I just think that's an amazing itinerary. I really want to do it next year. I'm waiting for Steph to come over so we can talk about it. So Bigfoot, that's fun. Bermuda from a Boston, New York, New Jersey is a good first time. Some sea days, port days. It gives the taste of cruising. It does. And one thing to be aware of, you are out in the Atlantic. You're coming down the east coast of the United States. You are more out into the Atlantic and you are prone to some rougher weather, maybe some more swells. So you just have to be aware of that. For me, I did find an itinerary. I had a client, actually, we just booked them on the MSC Meraviglia out of New York City. But there was a Royal Caribbean out of New York that had a really nice itinerary. It had Nassau, it had Coco Cay, and then it had one more. So it wasn't just sitting in Bermuda for 3 days. I mean, that's an interesting cruise. You go to Bermuda, you just kind of sit there for 3 days, you get to do your thing, then you come back. But to me, it's kind of like just having a hotel. I know the Meraviglia is actually stopping in Port Canaveral, which is kind of fun. She's stopping here in Florida. Then she's going to stop in Miami, and she's going to do down in the Bahamas. So that, to me, is a little bit more interesting than the Bermuda side. So, and by the way, if you like what we're doing, please hit the likes. Rebecca likes to punch me in the face with her fingers when she's watching the show. But just let TikTok know you're liking this. Let YouTube know that you're liking this. And thank you so much for joining us on the TikTok side, over on the YouTube side. It's fun to spend Sunday morning. Deidre Law, you don't like people. Will I hate a cruise? Well, Rebecca doesn't really like people either. Most people are surprised by that, but she doesn't really like people either, but she loves cruising. So yeah, I think you're going to love it. It brings Rebecca out of her shell when she's on a cruise. So Casino, when do we know what cabin number we have on a guaranteed cabin first time doing this? That's up to the cruise line. Hopefully you get a cabin. If the cruise is oversold, like Royal Caribbean has been doing of late, you may not even get one. But typically anywhere from, say, like a month to sailing on, they will go ahead and assign you a cabin. I think MSC let us know, I think 2 weeks ago. Our cruise is next Sunday, a week from today. I think 2 weeks ago we found out from MSC where our cabin would be. Again, we booked as travel agents, and when you book as a travel agent, you can only book a guarantee on MSC. So they assigned us, but that's up to the cruise line. I mean, there have been cases in the past, like pre-pandemic, where some people didn't even find out until they showed up at the cruise port where they were actually going to be. But that, yeah, so it could be any time. Go Cub, go! Love it. What company for European river cruise? Oh, that's a good question. I mean, you've got multiples and they offer. So I think what you really want to look at is, well, how much all-inclusive do you want and how big of a ship do you want? I mean, the big go-tos, you got AMA Waterways, you got Avalon Waterways, TUI is there. Of course, Viking, everybody knows Viking. And even Uniworld is over there as well. So those are like 4 of the biggies that I can think of offhand. And they all offer a slightly different experience. They all offer different balcony experiences, for example. They offer varying levels of all-inclusivity. I even got turned on to a barge this week. It's a custom barge in France that only does the Bordeaux area. It takes up to 8 people on a custom charter. It's all gourmet. It's all everything. And the pricing is in line with, say, like a Viking River cruise, an Avalon, an AMA. It's not ridiculously expensive when you split it 4 or 8 ways. So I don't know which one would be the best. It depends on, which itinerary are you looking at, and then how much all inclusion do you want within, because sometimes it literally is like everything is included. Some of them it's everything up to the shore excursions, or maybe there's one shore excursion. So it depends on what you're looking for. Certainly be happy to talk to you. Just reach out. Like I've said, just click on my logo and then click on the link tree. And the very first link is contact us. This is what you'll see when you click on the link tree. The very first link is contact us. Our services are free. So we're more than happy to help you out. But those are like the big 4, and then there's others as well. It just depends on like which river you want to do, which itinerary, when you want to go. There's a lot of good choices out there. Port Canaveral, further away from the airport. Well, it's like Galveston. So when you go down to Galveston, you fly into Houston. When you go to Port Canaveral, you're probably going to fly into Orlando. So it's a 6 to 1, half dozen of the other. Brightline, I can't wait to try that. What is the biggest party cruise? Pretty much any 3-night cruise. 2-night or a 3-night cruise. Those are going to be your party cruises. That's where you're going to find the subset of people that just want to drink and party all night long because they're trying to get the most. It's a Las Vegas weekend, really. You'd like to take your grandkids on Disney, but why it's so expensive? Because it's Disney. I mean, it's top of the line everything. Disney can charge what they want to charge. But I will tell you, with some of the best food, some of the best service, plus you get the fireworks, you get the Disney characters, you get the Disney show. So you're paying for that. Plus you're getting what I think are some of the most beautiful ships on the sea right now. They're just stunningly gorgeous. When you go on a Disney ship, it looks like it just came out of the shipyard. It really does. They're absolutely stunning inside and out. So, and expensive is relative. When you have to compare what you're getting. And if you look at the Disney Fantasy and the Dream, for example, versus Royal Caribbean, like if you look at the Icon of the Seas is actually more expensive than the Disney Dream and the Fantasy. So it just, what is the value for what you're trying to get for your cruise? And for some people, Disney's just too expensive. I can't go on it. And for other people, it's like, hey, booking, $13,000 for one cabin on the Disney Wish. That's what I want to do for my family. And it's what's the value for you? So, but there's a ship out there. If you want to take your grandkids on a cruise and you're like, well, Disney's too expensive. Well, we could look at, Royal Caribbean, Carnival, MSC. There's other cruise lines out there. So you've heard that MSCs have cafeteria type food at best. Is that true? We're going to find out. Food is a huge knock on MSC, especially in the standard area. Now, up in the yacht club, it's supposed to be better, but I don't know. It's going to be, we just went on Royal Caribbean recently, so we'll have a good comparison there. The buffet and Sky Princess was just amazing. One of the best buffets I think we've ever seen. It was really, really good. So we're going to find out. 1 week from today, we'll be on the MSC Seaside. How do you get from Houston to hotel in Galveston, then to the port? Well, I mean, obviously Houston to your hotel, you could use any number of services from hotel shuttles to Uber, Lyft kind of a thing. And then getting down to the port of Galveston, there are going to be cruise shuttles that either the hotel can provide, or you will just simply book it through a third party, one or the other. So one or the other is what you'll do. Oh, am I in focus? I am in focus. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. How are you, Samuel? Are there comedy clubs on Royal? Yeah, there are. There are definitely comedy clubs on Royal. And not on every single ship. Sometimes it'll be just in the theater, but like the Oasis class has specific comedy clubs for sure. Considering the Navigator out of Long Beach in October, we have clients on that particular ship. That's the class I was talking about a little while ago when I said the Mariner of the Seas is a ship that we've been on. We really, really enjoyed it. She's a lovely ship. I think that's a great class. I love that class of ship on Royal Caribbean. It's not massive. It's not really small. It still has the ice skating rink. It was the first class to bring out the ice skating rink, so you still got that. That's a lot of fun. So I think it's a great ship. Thank you, Dee, for all the kind words. John, the MSC Seascape. I don't know yet. We will know in a week. We'll be on the Seaside, the original ship, the original sea ship. I get them all confused. Seaside, Seascape, Seashore, Sea, whatever. I get them all confused. But we're going to be on the original ship a week from today. We'll either be staring at it from a terminal right now, or we will be on board. So Steve, good morning. How is cruising during hurricane season? A lot of great deals out there. I don't know that there's as many deals that there used to be because cruising is just white hot right now. But cruising during hurricane season is no big deal, to be honest with you. We got married in September, so we're always cruising for our anniversary during hurricane season. We sailed during Hurricane Irma on the Celebrity Equinox. We left Miami 3 days before the hurricane hit the Caribbean, and actually we had some of the best weather ever because we basically went south and we followed the hurricane in. They just changed the itinerary. It's really what they do. So it's not that big a deal, but I don't think the deals are as good as they used to be because now people just want to cruise. They don't care about what season it is. They just want to cruise. But the thing about hurricane season, where you get the deals is when the kids are in school. When the kids are in school, that's when the prices drop, especially on your Royal Caribbeans, your Norwegian, Carnival, MSC, but even, your Celebrity, Princess, Holland, everybody will drop the prices down a bit when the kids are in school. So that's the best time to go. You just got off the Celebration yesterday, loved it, but the bathroom was too small. It is a small bathroom. It's similar, actually very similar to the one that's in the Virgin Voyages ships in their standard sea terraces. But I think the big difference was, if I recall correctly, on our Mardi Gras cabin, the door opened out from the shower, so it kind of made it awkward getting in there, whereas on Virgin Voyages, the door opens into the shower, makes it much easier to get in. But what a great ship. Yeah, I mean, if that's the complaint, the bathroom was too small, that's not a bad complaint to have because the ship itself is a lot of fun. Andy over here on YouTube, you're doing the Carnival Splendor November 2024 in New Zealand. What do I think of the Splendor? Well, I haven't been on the ship yet. I can tell you I fit in full-size luggage, so if you want to take me with you, I will gladly tag along and see New Zealand. Have not been on the Splendor yet. I can't speak to that specific ship. All I can tell you about is Carnival Mardi Gras, which is the one that we've been on. I mean, we're working our way through the ship, hoping to get on the Pride next year. I don't know where the Splendor is. The Splendor is only hanging out in Europe right now. I haven't been on that ship yet, but my God, you're going to be in New Zealand. I mean, holy crap, that's going to be amazeballs. If anybody here has been on the Carnival Splendor, certainly jump in. Oh, and I'll tell you, check out This Cruise Life, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter. Mark and Rocky have been on over 60 Carnival cruises. I would not be surprised if they've been on the Splendor and can talk specifically about that ship. Two really, really nice guys. So, is Princess pretty boring? No, Princess is fun. Actually, Princess has some of the best original entertainment of the cruise lines out there. I love Princess. So if you really like nice pools and you like really good like Broadway style entertainment, it's a great ship to go on. It's more of a resort, right? It doesn't have parties going on all the time. It's more of an adult resort. It's kind of like Celebrity. It doesn't have parties going on all the time. They do have events going on. They'll have dancing up by the pool. They got great live music on Princess, but it's not like Party Central, partying all the time. But it is a great, great cruise line. We've been on 5 Princess cruises so far. Cuban Coffee. Hey, Samuel, how are you? Cuban Coffee is really good from the Havana bar. Unfortunately, got to wait 10 minutes until 10 to get it. Oh, we were able to get it earlier on our cruise on the Mardi Gras. They must have changed things down there. I want to say it was open at like 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning on the Carnival Mardi Gras, but they might have changed that. On the Carnival Mardi Gras, I would go to the Bar de la Rosa to get my coffee. It was so good. NCL does not have Cuban coffee. I saw the question about that. Not that I know of. At least they haven't had it in the past. What ship do I recommend if it's your first Royal Caribbean cruise thinking about going on one? That all depends on what you're looking for. I mean, Royal Caribbean literally has the entire gamut from, I think, like around 1,200 passengers on their very, very small ships up to almost 7,000 passengers plus on their very, very large ship. It depends on what you're going on. I don't have a ship to recommend to you unless we talk and I find out what you're looking for and also what time of year you're going to go, because are you averse to having a ton of kids around? Then we've got to put you on a ship while the kids are in school. Do you want ice skating? Do you want bumper cars? Do you want diving? Boat riders? Do you want better food? Do you want a quieter ship? There's a lot of things that go into play in Royal Caribbean. A lot of people don't realize just how many ships Royal Caribbean has. They have a lot of ships with a lot of different opportunities. Plus, they have different itineraries. The smaller ships do really interesting itineraries that the bigger ship just simply can't do because they're too big to go into some of these ports. And now, like the Jewel of the Seas is going to be down in San Juan, doing a whole season out of San Juan, has some amazing itineraries out of San Juan. So I don't have a recommendation for a ship. There's a specific ship that's going to be best for you. And I would need to talk to you to match you up with the right itinerary, the right ship, and the right time of year to go on it. So, certainly reach out to us. Again, our services are free. Just click my little logo there and the first link in the link tree, set up a time on my calendar. We'll be happy to talk to you about it. How do you find those reposition cruises? Those are like on Carnival, they're Carnival Journeys. On any other cruise line, they're usually called, like transatlantic, or sometimes they're even called repositioning, but they're always a longer cruise. So if you start looking for, say, 10 days or longer, that's how you're definitely going to find them. But different cruise lines call them different things. So we can definitely help out with that. But yeah, they're always longer. They're always longer. So Andy saying he was on Celebration back in February. Wonderful ship. The only complaint was the hand washing station and the buffet was out of order for the whole cruise. That's not good. That should always be working. So, but you're going back on the ship. That's awesome. Dawn, you're going on the MSC Seaside in October. They just got a poor rating. What are your opinions? We're going on that ship a week from today. Yeah, that was horrible. Not only did they get a poor rating, they got the worst health and safety rating of any cruise ship ever in the United States by the CDC. From what we saw on Cruise Critic, they were cleaning the ship that entire following week. That was just poor management on MSC's part, because when a ship returns from a European season to the United States, they are going to be inspected by the CDC. Obviously, management didn't care, or they just weren't. I don't know why they weren't ready, but they should have been ready for that inspection, but they weren't. So we're going on it next week, so I'll be able to tell you what the ship looks like. Oh, snap. It's going on an Alaskan cruise in September on Ovation of the Seas. What essentials should I pack? There's one thing that you absolutely should pack, and that's a 3-in-1 jacket. The one that we have is from LL Bean, but there's other companies out there that make them too. But basically, you have an inner liner, which is the warm part of the jacket. Then you have an outer liner, that's the windbreaker and the rain jacket. You can wear them independently, depending on the temperatures or how the weather is, or you can put them together when it's especially cold and you've got the warmest jacket. That's the one thing you absolutely should bring with you. The other thing, if your hands and feet tend to get a little colder, they make these wonderful chemical packs that can go in your gloves and in your shoes. I only had to use them once during our 14 days there, but I was very glad I had them. And then last but not least, mosquito wipes, like bug wipes. The sprays are just like, they get all over everybody, but they have these wipes that you can just simply wipe and, wipe it down. Those are great to have. So those are 3 things that I would take to Alaska. Took your first cruise on a Norwegian Encore in April. You loved it. Great ship. The Encore is a fabulous ship. The Breakaway class from Norwegian, I love that class. I love that whole waterfront area. That's like our go-to spot during the day, that waterfront. Absolutely beautiful. You're doing a 16-day LA to Alaska in September, and then a 16-day LA to Hawaii in October. You can't wait. My goodness, 32 days on the ship and back-to-back. Holy shamoly. That's awesome, man. Now, that's the way to do it. That's even better than the NCL Spirit doing the 16-day journey up and down. So have an amazing time. Hey, if you're not in our Facebook group, Mommy Cuff, please come on over and join the Facebook group. Where's Walter Travel? It's a private group. Come on in and join in so we can see what you're doing. Andy, thank you so much for the kind words. Welcome to the channel, and everybody else who's never been with the channel, welcome to the channel. This is what we do most every Sunday. We try to do this at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. And then on Thursday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, we're on YouTube exclusively. So last week we had Tony from Lolita Loca. Not sure who we're going to have this week. I try to get a guest every single Thursday, but thank you so much, Andy, and welcome. Anything I would not do in Coco Cay, I probably would not order the lobster again at the Cocoa Beach Club because it tasted to me like the lobster was cooked on the ship and then reheated on land. And you really can't do that with lobster. You got to cook it fresh. You got to serve it. Other than that, I think Coco Cay is amazing. Any concerns with current cruise travel in Jamaica? That's 100% up to you. The State Department has issued, a level 3, I think it is, warning for Jamaica. That's totally up to you. If you do not feel comfortable getting off the ship in Jamaica, do not get off the ship. Just stay on the ship. You can make it a ship day. It's a beautiful resort that you've got all to yourself. So I can't recommend one way or another. That's totally up. Now, if you are on a ship-based excursion, you should be fine because all of those tour operators are vetted. However, you know your comfort level. So when you go to Jamaica, if you don't feel comfortable getting off ship, just stay on the ship. Caribbean Princess was oversold on the May 20th sailing. This is your first cruise coming up June 3rd. Was oversold? I didn't see that. I didn't see any reports of Princess overselling. I've seen Royal Caribbean has been oversold, but I have not seen any reports of Princess being oversold. Because that would have made big news if it was. Because that was yesterday. I didn't see any reports of that. I mean, now ships can sell 125%. I think is like the number, like 125, 150% or something like that. But I don't know about it being oversold. But if this is going to be your first cruise coming up June 3rd, that is truly awesome. So yeah, but yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. That'll definitely be a lot of fun. I think you're going to be okay because literally I have not heard anything about that being oversold. I mean, maybe, but I don't know. It could be. It could be oversold, but I don't think it was. I really don't think it was. But yeah, let me get back to the questions here. My apologies. I just had to take care of some cleaning up. There you go. You're trying to get a handicap suite out of New York for this summer, but can't get one. Any ideas? That's hard. You know, the handicap accessible or the accessible cabin, there's only a limited supply. Maybe 10% on the cruise, maybe 10% on a ship, maybe 15% on some ships, but there's not a lot of them. So you've got to book them early. That is one of the things that you absolutely have to do. Now, sometimes there are suites that if you can step into the shower, you're going to be okay. And they're big enough that, you know, you can bring in a wheelchair, you can bring in a scooter, something like that to turn around. But they are hard to get. And in New York, you have a limited supply of ships, not like down here in Florida. You know, down here in Florida, I don't know how many ships we have running during the, you know, any time of the year. So you do have a limited supply. So there are, the only suggestion I can give you is to look for another suite or another cabin that can accommodate you where, because they have ambulatory cabins as well, which means you can't roll into the bathroom, you can't roll into the shower. If you can do that, maybe. Now, the other thing too, sometimes, you know, the cruise line will go through and double check with people and make sure, do you really need the accessible? Because some people book the accessible to get the bigger cabin. And if they find out that you don't truly need it, they will kick you out of the cabin and give it to somebody who does. So if you're working with a travel agent, that's one thing a travel agent will do. We'll call the cruise line and say, hey, I've got an accessible client. You're saying they're all sold out. Are you sure? Are you absolutely certain that all of those accessible cabins are truly required by the guests? And if they're not, they can kick the guest out. So that is one thing for sure. Cunard Queen Elizabeth to Alaska. It's a beautiful ship. Have not been on the Cunard yet, but if you want top of the line service while you're enjoying the amazing scenery of Alaska, why not? I mean, Cunard is amazing, right? One of the most amazing cruise lines out there. I am planning, hopefully sooner than later, to take Cunard transatlantic over to Europe. That's going to be a lot of fun. Havana Suite area on Carnival for 8 nights. Wow. From what I have been told, okay, I haven't been on the Vista class yet, but from what I have been told, and from looking at the deck plans, the Havana area on the Vista class, it looks amazing, right? You've got the big pool area. You've got, you know, you really do have a nice area. On the Mardi Gras, the Excel class, which is your Mardi Gras celebration and soon to be Jubilee, they kind of made it a wing up in the front of the ship. And I don't think it's quite as nice as what they've done on the Vista class. So if you really want to have that Havana Suite area or that Havana Cabana, I would probably look at the Vista class ships first before the other ones, unless you really want to go on the newer ship and you like those itineraries more. But it looks to me anyway, and from what people have told me who have been in both, it looks like you get more value and more fun if you go into the Vista class. So, yeah, excuse me. Yeah, if you go into the Vista class, I am so sorry. Hey, thank you, Samuel. Look at that. Yeah, look, Samuel just said, well, hey, thank you, Samuel. That's awesome. I didn't even see what you said. Next Monday, guaranteed cabins, 2 cabins. When will they tell us? No rooms for us. We checked in. So you're going next Monday and you haven't heard yet. That means the ship is probably close to a sellout and they're still trying to figure out where to put you. I never book guarantees for our clients unless it's 1,000% necessary. So, so unless it's 100% necessary, nah. What line has the best food? We were told Holland and went on Eurodam and wasn't impressed. Well, now that's the thing. So the thing about who has the best food, it just depends on the ship itself, right? So every ship has their own account or has their own chef and has their own executive chef. So it all depends on the chef on that individual ship. Now we have been on the New Amsterdam, and we loved it. Colette Bennett, one of our clients, has been on the New Amsterdam for 2 weeks now in Alaska. She said the food's been great. So it just depends on your experience. So in terms of overall best food, Disney and Virgin Voyages has the absolute best food, I think. Celebrity and Princess right behind it, with Holland right behind that. So, but it really depends on the chef that's on that particular ship at that particular time, how good the food is going to be. You can have 2 people go on the same ship 6 months apart and have 2 completely different experiences because the crew changed over. So, but in terms of me, Disney, Virgin Voyages, absolutely at the top. Celebrity, Princess right behind that. And then Holland America, Norwegian has amazing specialty restaurants. So Independence of the Seas, great ship, fabulous ship, a lot of fun. I mean, a lot of fun on the Independence of the Seas. The Freedom class is great. Lumiere, you're going to Alaska on the Ovation, have a fabulous time. Liberty of the Seas to Aruba, Curacao, and Haiti next April. That's great. That's part of the ABC Islands. Aruba and Curacao are absolutely fabulous. And then Haiti will be Labadee. Labadee is an absolutely great port stop. Absolutely. You're currently on the Celebration. Nice. Having a lot of fun. That's awesome. You love the Bliss to Alaska. Oh, good. I'm glad you went on the Bliss to Alaska. I get concerned about the really, really big ship when they're in Alaska. So it's really funny. I would get concerned, because it's such a big ship, and Alaska, I like to put people on smaller ships so you can get on and off the ships quicker. The ports are so small, but I'm glad you had a great time. You had the lobster sandwich at the Cocoa Club, and it was incredible. See, I had the lobster, like the half lobster. It was cold, and again, it tasted all dried out because I think they had cooked it on the ship. But that's a good point. Maybe I'll have the lobster sandwich next time. Port day on the ship was the best thing ever. Absolutely, every single cruise you go on, except Alaska, you really should do a port day on the ship. It's a lot of fun. So what's the best cruise for the money? I don't have an answer for that. That just depends on what you're looking for in terms of value. Some people, I don't, it just depends on what you're looking for. If I'm working with your budget and you tell me where you want to go and what time of year you want to go, then I'll find the best cruise for your budget. But there is no best cruise. If anybody ever tells you this is the best cruise line, this is the best cruise, this is the best ship, this is the best whatever, it's what they like. And they want you to like it too. Me as an independent travel advisor, my job is to figure out what you actually like in terms of a vacation, food, shows, pools, excursions, locations. I take all of these things into consideration, and then I present you with anywhere from 2 to 4 options and go, based on what you've asked for, here are 4 considerations for you. And then we talk about it. And if we've got a winner, we go ahead and book it. If we don't have a winner, we go and look for some more. So there is no best cruise for the money. It's the best one for you. So just reach out. Let's talk about it. Click on my logo and schedule an appointment through my calendar. What happens when ships are oversold? So very good question. That's been happening on Royal Caribbean of late, unfortunately. Wonder of the Seas, and I believe it was Harmony or Allure of the Seas. They've been doing it. They also did it with a smaller ship. But basically, when a ship is oversold, anybody with a guarantee may not be on that ship. So the first thing they're going to do is send out emails to clients saying, we're so sorry, we oversold. If you will take another sailing, we'll give you these 3 options. Usually you get a refund, you get a future cruise credit, you get some sort of a bonus on the future cruise, or you can just book another cruise right on the spot. If not enough people take that option to get off the ship willingly, well, now they got to start kicking off people from that sailing. Again, you're still going to get that future cruise credit or whatever. You're just going to be forced to take it now. And that's going to be the guarantee, because you don't actually have a cabin. You bought a space, but you don't actually have a number assigned to your cabin. So when you have a number assigned to your cabin, they're not going to kick you off the ship. You actually have a physical cabin. This is why we don't recommend getting guarantees unless you absolutely positively have to get it, because that's all that's left. So you just got off the Carnival Horizon. Awesome. You just sailed the Getaway that had some COVID cases. That does happen. What's the best advice for first-time cruiser? The biggest thing is just you got to go with the flow. You got to go with the flow. Nothing on the ship is guaranteed. Nothing whatsoever is guaranteed. Once you leave port, your entire itinerary could change. That first night, they could drop a letter in your room and say, hey, we just changed the entire itinerary because of this, that, and the other, or we're not going to this port because of this, that, or the other. You just got to go with the flow. That is the best advice I can give to a first-time cruiser. Understand that not everything on that particular cruise is 100% guaranteed. You got to go with the flow. And you might end up with an extra sea day. You might end up with a port you didn't plan on. Just have fun. Just enjoy it. Just know that a ship, for me, is one of the most relaxing places in my world, because I don't have to drive anywhere. I don't have to go anywhere. At the end of the day, I can go see a show. I just need to walk back to my cabin. So just enjoy it for what it is, and make sure you get on the right ship for your first cruise. If you get on the wrong ship, you're not going to like it, and you're going to be like, I tried cruising, I didn't like it. Maybe you were not on the right ship for what you wanted to do. And this is why I always say, don't look at cruise lines, look at cruise ships, right? And which ship is the best for you? And the 1000% best advice for first-time cruisers, work with a travel advisor. That's what I do. There are lots of us out there that can help you. My services are 100% free, so there's no charge to you. My job is to get you on the best ship and to give you the best vacation. And so, reach out to me, click my logo, let's talk about it, and I'll help you. Let's see. Havana's amazing. Let's see. Never cruised before. Looking to take an Alaska cruise. That will spoil you. Going on an Alaska cruise for your first one. That's a bucket list cruise. That's amazing. What's really interesting, I've got more and more people who are doing that. I have booked multiple clients, very first cruise, and it's going to be Alaska. And I'm like, you know what? Why not? Go for it. Alaska is an amazing cruise. If you're going to go to Alaska, you look at Princess first, you look at Holland America second. Those are, for me, the two best ones. Unless you want to go small ship cruising, then you look at American Cruise Line, which has only 200 people on their ship. Or even Hurtigruten. You want to go expedition, you really want to go all out, do Hurtigruten up there. Oh my God, their itineraries are ridiculous. But again, if you'd like some help with that, I love, if you have the wherewithal to do 14 days, you do 7 days on land, you do 7 days at sea. You will see more on land than you will from the ship. I can almost guarantee you that, unless you do one of these 14-day Holland Americas, that gives you more time. But we saw more wildlife during our 7 days on land with Princess than we did on the ship. We saw the whales for sure. We saw eagles. But when we were on land, that's where we saw the grizzly bears, the caribou. We saw little baby owls. We were there in May, so all the babies were being born. So, yeah. Let's see. Royal Caribbean Odyssey. It looks like a great ship. Have not been on there yet. So, but I love the idea of the bumper cars and the iFly. So Odyssey, Quantum Class, that's going to be our next Royal Caribbean ship. I really want to go on them. They look like so much fun. Norwegian Encore, fabulous, fabulous. Do you need passports for cruises? Right now, out of the United States, there's only one cruise line that requires passports for every cruise. That's Virgin Voyages. You cannot go on Virgin Voyages unless you have a passport. For all the other cruise lines, passport is strongly recommended. I mean, keep in mind that when you go on a cruise ship from the United States, you are going to other countries. And if you have to disembark that ship for whatever reason and be flown back to the United States, having a passport makes that so much easier. But legally, for about 99% of the cruises leaving out of the United States, you need a original birth certificate and a government-issued photo ID, driver's license. You need both of those, or a passport. But again, Virgin Voyages, you must have a passport to go on Virgin Voyages. So Celebrity Edge Mediterranean, that's going to be amazing. Celebrity, Princess, They have some really awesome itineraries over in the Mediterranean, and going on an Edge class ship, it's going to make that trip even better. Of course, you're following Captain Kate, right? Everybody should be following Captain Kate McHugh. She is the captain of the Beyond. And one of the cool things that she does, she goes on a lot of excursions to these places. So if you want to know, what do I do in Santorini? What do we do in some of these other places? Captain Kate is going out and exploring all of these local areas and taking you along for the ride. So make sure you're following Captain Kate. Norwegian Dawn in July for 15-day British Isles. Wow, that sounds like an amazing, amazing cruise. Have we ever had any really bad weather days aboard or at port? Did you just stay inside? Great question, Gary. On our first cruise after the restart, we were on the Norwegian Escape. And for the first 3 days of the cruise, this was in November, first 3 days of the cruise, they had the barf bags out in all the stairwells because the weather wasn't rough. There were these big swells just coming through, and we were going, perpendicular? We were going parallel to them. So the ship was doing this. It was just kind of doing this slow rocking. And when you were up on deck 17, 18, whatever those top decks were, you felt it. I mean, you really did feel it. And I laugh. You know, you kind of ping pong down the hallway. It's like you're trying to walk down the hallway and kind of ping ponging back and forth along the walls. But for the first 3 days, that's what it was like. And I have seen some reports from some other folks over this past winter. There have been some rough days out there. When we went to Coco Cay in December, we had 30-knot winds, 25, 30-knot winds. So that was interesting. I didn't think we were actually going to dock the ship, but the Symphony came in and docked and did a beautiful job with that. So yeah, we've been on rough days. Rebecca loves it when the ship starts pitching like that because the pool turns into a big wave pool and she just kind of slide back and forth in the wave pool. She absolutely loves that. So it just depends on how you're feeling, whether you're going to go outside or stay inside. William, you just finished sailing on the Norwegian Getaway and it was an amazing trip. The food was wonderful. Norwegian has some of the best specialty dining out there. Getaway has that awesome dinner theater thing in the round. I love that. And it has the mojito bar for the oceanfront or whatever that is, the waterfront. Oh my God, absolutely loved it. So nice. 132 days till your Mediterranean cruise. Boy, when it gets down to double digits, that's when it gets exciting. Yeah, I haven't heard of Princess overbooking yet. I'll have to go take a look at that. I've seen all the reports on Royal Caribbean, but I have not seen Princess. So Bertie says, will you make money if people book through you? Thank you for asking. Yes, actually we do. So how it works is we get paid a commission from the travel partners. Some people have this notion that if I book directly with the cruise line, then I don't have to pay the commission. That's actually wrong. You are paying the commission. The commission is baked into the cruise fare, it's baked into your Disney trip, it's baked into your land tour that you're going to take in Scotland. It's all baked in. It's just if you don't work with a travel advisor, then they just get to keep it. So the price is the same. So you're not saving any commission anywhere. It's already in the price. So that's how I make my money. I make my money through commission. But thank you for asking. That's very nice. We do love to do this, but it is nice to get paid for it too. It really is. Tom, you're very welcome. Yeah, Captain Kate is amazing. How long do they let you off at the islands? That's a great question. And that all depends on the specific itinerary. So when you're looking at cruises, you should always click view itinerary or explore this itinerary. They'll actually tell you. And it's generally a short stop can be literally 3 or 4 hours. A long stop could be overnight. You know, there are some times when there are overnight, like we're going to stay overnight in the Bahamas at MSC's private island, Ocean Cay. That's actually going to be our very first overnight, believe it or not. But especially in the Mediterranean, that's big, overnight stays. But generally, I would say in general, it's around 8 hours, like 6 to 8 hours is like general. But sometimes as long as 12 hours and sometimes overnight. But if you look at the itinerary, will actually tell you the expected time. Know that could change, but the expected time is literally right on every single itinerary when you look at it. And when we present our cruises to our clients, we include the expected time in our proposals too. You're going on the Carnival Magic. What's my opinion? She looks like a great ship. Have not been on it yet, but we've seen her go by in Port Canaveral or maybe Fort Lauderdale. I'm not really sure. We've seen her a couple of times. Looks like a great ship. One of the cool things about Carnival, especially when you see the ship that have the blue livery, you know, the new blue hull that's been painted on them, they've all gone into dry dock in like the past 2 years or so. So they've all been refreshed. They've all been updated. And, to their credit, it looks like Carnival is taking better care of their ships now than they did before the pandemic. Before the pandemic, it was not unusual to see those Carnival ships look rusty from the outside. They did not look great from the outside. A lot of people, just get past the rust. It's great on the inside. Well, now they're starting to look really nice from the outside too. So to their credit, Christine Duffy and everybody over there, Carnival, they're starting to take care of their ship. They look fabulous. So that's a good thing. Best ports in the Med planning on a cruise in October. Well, that all depends on what you're looking for. Again, the Mediterranean is big. It's kind of like the Caribbean. You got the Western and the Eastern Caribbean. The Mediterranean is big. And you've also got, Israel and Turkey and Croatia. You've got so many things. So I don't know that there's a best port in the Med. There's ports that you want to see because there's things that you want to do. The big ones are, obviously Barcelona. You've got the ports in Italy, Santorini, group ones that a lot want to go to. But then there's off the beaten path, depending on the ship. Like if you get on the smaller ships, that opens up other itineraries, and you go on longer cruises like Azamara. That's going to open up some different ports that maybe you can't get to on some of the other ships. Oceania, our mother-in-law is over there right now on Oceania, having a fabulous time. That ship is 1,000 people, Rebecca? Less than 1,000? It's around 1,000 people. It's a very small ship, so she's able to go into some areas that some of the bigger ships can't go to. So I don't know. If you're planning for a cruise in October, why don't you reach out and we can talk about it. Again, our services are free, so we'll be happy to help you. But Mediterranean is a big space, so I can't tell you which is the best. It just depends on what you want to do. We worked with a client who was on a 10-night cruise in the Mediterranean. We ended up adding 10 more days around it with a custom land tour. They're going to Germany. They're going to Italy. They're going to Germany to visit friends. Then we've got them going to Italy for a few days. And then after the cruise, they spend some time in Barcelona, and then they fly back. So we've actually wrapped it into a big 20-day trip. Flights, hotels, transfers, everything is all built in. So all they have to do is get on the plane in Las Vegas, fly, and then come back to Las Vegas. The 20 days in between are all planned out. So if you want some help, definitely do it. We can definitely help you out. Michael, 7 days to Wonder of the Seas. Have a fabulous time. First timer, NCL Bliss to Alaska in October. Thoughts? Well, here's a big thought. Things are going to be closed in October. Generally, ships do not sail in Alaska in October. September was the cutoff. This is the latest I have ever heard. Norwegian is staying there all the way through to the end of October. So be sure to look at the land tours that you're thinking about doing. Are they still running in October? For instance, the Tundra tour in Denali stops in September, so that will not be running. So that's the biggest thing. What's actually still going to be open when you get there? That is the biggest thing that I would be looking at, because October is really late, and a lot of the tour operators will be shutting down in September because literally NCL is going to be the only one left. Everybody else will be gone. Maybe there's a cruise that's going to end in November, but after that first week in November, nobody's going to be there but Norwegian. So that's the big thing. See what's still going to be open. Aaron, over on YouTube, you just got back from Alaska on Ovation. It was one of the best ever. You booked Harv and Marv thanks to me. Oh, it was a good tour. So in Juneau, if anybody's going to Juneau, Alaska, you have not booked anything there yet, look up Harv and Marv on the TikTok site. HARV MARV. Harv and Marv. They have small boat whale watching, like 6 to 20 people, depending on the boat. If you book through the cruise line, you're going to be on a double decker probably with over 200 people. It's hard to see things. But Harv and Marv do amazing jobs. They're still one of my favorite tours we've ever done, other than the Thames Go helicopters in Skagway. That was amazing too. But Aaron, I'm so glad you had a good time. Thank you so much for popping in and letting us know, man. Put some pictures in the Facebook group. Come on over in the Facebook group. Show us what you did. I want to see. But thank you so much for chiming in. I'm so happy that was good for you. Hey, Douglas over there on YouTube, should you go on the Pride of America or a one-way to Hawaii on Celebrity? We talked about that a little bit earlier. And for those of you who don't know the difference, Norwegian Cruise Line has one ship that is flagged here in America. It's registered in the United States, called Pride of America. So it can do the Hawaiian Islands and just do the Hawaiian Islands without having to go to another country. And so you have two options with Hawaii. You fly to Hawaii, you do the Pride of America, or you take a ship from California and you go around Hawaii, then you go to Ensenada, and you come back to the United States. Now, the big difference between those two is there's generally 4 to 9 sea days of getting there and getting back, which I don't have a problem with that at all. I think that's rather nice to just be able to chill and hang out on the ship. Now, our mother-in-law actually did the Pride of America, and she had a great time on that cruise. Pero DJ on YouTube. I don't know if they're on TikTok yet. I think they are. But Pero DJ recently did the Pride of America. They did a whole vlog on it, and it looked great. It looks like a great time. So the big difference is, do you want to have all those sea days going out there, or would you rather just get to the island, maybe spend a little time on the island before and after the cruise? What I think is a great idea, and I want to do it both ways, but if you're going to fly out there, my idea would be to fly out there a night before the cruise and then plan, say, 3, maybe 4 days after the cruise at a hotel. Take the cruise. You're going to find some things during the cruise that you're like, I want to go back and do that. I want to go see some more of this. So then after the cruise, you've got time to, okay, let's go back and do this thing or that thing. Whereas if you front load the cruise with visits in Hawaii, you might discover some things on the cruise. So in terms of which way to do it, that's totally up to you, whether you want to have all the sea days and just relax on the ship, which I love that. Obviously, with the Pride of America doing it continuously every single week, they got it down. They have really tight relationships with all of the tour operators in the area. So in terms of the tours, they're probably Pride of America is going to have the better shore excursions than anybody else, just because they've been doing it for so long. So first-time cruiser going on the Norwegian Encore. Have a great time. Enjoy it. So my favorite spot on the breakaway ship is the waterfront, down on deck 8. I like it more than the top decks. The entertainment is usually very good. The main dining room and the buffet are okay. You know, you're not going to go hungry. I don't think they're the best. But the specialty dining, I really like. They usually have a good seafood restaurant. If Food Republic's on that ship, that's amazing. Cagney Steakhouse was really good. So I think that's where they shine. I think Norwegian really shines with their specialty dining and their entertainment. I think both of those are where they really shine, but the Encore is great. Great. Hey, bartender, how are you? Let's see. Do I do only cruises? You're looking for a travel agent for your honeymoon. No, we do everything. We do everything. So it's, yeah, I mean, we basically do everything out there under the sun. So we do cruises, we do, I don't know, we do land tours, we do theme parks. My goodness, we do absolutely everything out there. So yeah, contact us. We booked, I don't know if Joseph is still here, but Joseph is Joe Schlitz. I think I don't know if Joe's still here, but if he is, we've got him on an all-inclusive for his honeymoon. So yay. Do all cruise lines have special deal for people who gamble? Most of them do. Yeah. Princess, Carnival, they're really big with it. Absolutely. All right. Trying to catch up with you guys. Shops closed in September in the ports in Alaska. That's what I was saying. You know, you really got to look at what's still open in October. October is probably a cool time to go to Alaska, but you may not have much going on. Hey, Marcello over on YouTube. Good to see you, my friend. Thanks for joining the TikTok simulcast. Good to see you. Barbara is looking for a 21-day cruise on the Sun Princess in October 2024. I'll tell you what, she's a stunner. This could be one of the most beautiful classes of ships to come out in a very long time. You know, the Star Princess was just announced. So yeah, we have some clients who are booked on the Sun Princess right now. That is stunning. I would love to go to Europe to see her next year. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, but certainly when she comes across the pond and does her winter in I think she's going to be in Fort Lauderdale. I'm ready for it, man. That Sun Princess is amazing. If you would like to reach out, we would be happy to help you with that. But yeah, Sun Princess I'll tell you what, the fact that they're going to have the shows up there in the dome at night and you're going to be able to see outside, you know, because the Aqua Dome is amazing on the Icon class, but that will be closed in for where the show actually is. It's going to be glass all the way around, but the dome on the Sun Princess is literally going to be glass all the way to the top. Absolutely freaking amazing. If you're going to Alaska, do not skip a helicopter trip to the glacier. Yes, Joe. And the other thing too is if you're going to Skagway, look at the helicopter tour to the dog sled camp. If you can do that, that's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. but it can be canceled. So ours was canceled, and they gave us the option to fly to a glacier instead, which is amazing. But if you can do it, any thoughts? It'll be your first cruise, Norwegian Encore, Christmas Eve to the 31st. It's going to be amazing. The Norwegian Encore is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Hey, Colette, good to see you. You're at the airport in Vancouver heading home after a great cruise. Wonderful. So Colette just did 14 days on Holland America in Alaska. She's been posting pictures in our Facebook group. Looks like you had an amazing time, Colette. Colette, I'll tell you what, when you get home, let's schedule some time. I would love to chat about the cruise, find out all about it, because I've not done the 14-day cruise yet. So I really want to know about it. Amazing. Let's see, over here on YouTube, let's see, your wife and I are boarding Crown Princess for a 10-day Alaska cruise in 2 days. Interior room with obstructed window, $350 Canadian, and $1,700 each, not including the fees. That's not bad. That's not bad. Yeah, that is a very good price for going in Alaska for sure. Excursions, the best place site to use cheaper than through the cruise line. So the one that we recommend and the one that we're partnered with is Shore Excursions Group. I think I may even have a link. Do I have a link yet to them on my thing? I don't yet. I've got to add that. But if you go to my website, where'swaltertravel.com, and you click on Shore Excursion, there's a link there. Shore Excursions Group is an independent tour provider, and they offer a return to ship guarantee, and they offer $1,000 for each person if you should happen to miss the ship, and they will get you to the next port. So that's why I recommend them, because they actually offer those guarantees. Plus, they offer a money-back guarantee. So if you're not happy with it and you booked it through my affiliate link, I will call Shore Excursions Group and you will get a discount. And I have a refund, and I have gotten a few refunds for a few of my clients that were like, this wasn't exactly what they promised it was going to be. So there you go. Traveling the Celebrity Eclipse in September to Alaska. First time cruise. Welcome to the cruise family, Ben. That is going to be amazing. And the Eclipse is going to be a great ship to go up there. That is a Solstice class ship. We love the Solstice class ship. They are so beautiful. Too busy for fun. I like that. Going to Alaska and Holland, Westerdam for your 25th anniversary. Congratulations on 25. We're going to be 30 in 2 more years, I think. 2 years, 3 years? 2.5. 2.5 years. We'll be at our 30. So cheers early. So going to Alaska and Holland, Westerdam. So first of all, let everybody know that it's your anniversary. In fact, make sure that that's noted on your booking so that everybody in the ship's gonna know. Let's see. So you're going to Alaska on Holland America on the Westerdam. So look at the excursions. I recommend Harv and Marv in Juneau for whale watching, Thames Helicopters in Skagway for either glacier tour or dog sled camp helicopter tour. If you're going to Ketchikan, you look at Island Wings with pilot Michelle, who is one of the best bush pilots up there, apparently float plane pilots up there. As I said earlier, go with the flow. You know, you may not get to go. I know Colette, who was just on here, they had to call off at least one port stop because the weather was bad. That happens. That's a part of cruising. Holland America is known for their music now. They really leaned into live music on the ship, so you should have some great live music. I don't know if that ship has tamarind or not. That's one of our favorite Holland America restaurants. But just it's a very classic cruise line with outstanding service. I think you're going to have a great time. What happened to the MSC ship in Port Canaveral? Says it didn't pass some inspection. It got a 67 on the health and safety report. That was a month ago or so now. Apparently they've been cleaning the heck out of it. So what about Carnival? Carnival's a great cruise line. And that's about all I can say. How is it at Symphony of the Seas? Go on to my YouTube channel. I have a whole blog there from the Symphony of the Seas. We were on the ship in December. Amazing. The same with Carnival Mardi Gras. I have a whole vlog there on the Carnival Mardi Gras. So Symphony was a great ship. We ate so much freaking food on the Symphony of the Seas. It was amazing. Ace, you're going on your first time cruise on the Panama, 7 days in July. Congratulations. Stacy, you are the best. I don't know if we're the best TAs ever, but we appreciate the love. Thank you so much. Too busy Thank you. Great resource. Oh, cool. Thank you so much. Oh my God, have I actually caught up to all the questions? Holy shamoly. And I forgot to mention to people, if you've been trying to ask questions about Virgin Voyages on TikTok, TikTok will block the word virgin. So if you want to ask about Virgin Voyages, use VV for the shorthand. Ask any questions that you want to know about Scarlet Lady, or just ask about the Scarlet Lady, Valiant Lady, Resilient Lady. We learned that on a recent, and I think the word lazy is also blocked. And somebody was trying to ask me about a lazy river, and they couldn't ask the question. It kept getting blocked. That was hilarious. What happened to the food quality on Carnival? You were just on a Mardi Gras, April and Freedom last week. I don't know. We had a mixed bag on a Carnival Mardi Gras. You know, I love Shack Chicken. The main dining room was okay. Rudy Sea Grill, one of the best meals I've ever had on a ship. It was absolutely amazing. Shebang, we thought the Asian side of the menu was better than the Mexican side of the menu. Blue Iguana was great. The buffet was small and it was okay. You know, it wasn't the best food that we've ever had on a cruise ship, but it certainly wasn't the worst. So I don't know. Everybody, you know, if there's one thing that everybody complains about on any cruise line, it's the food. If you go on to Cruise Critic, every single cruise line has terrible food. And that's not our case at all. Is Royal Caribbean still good? As far as we can tell, yeah. We were just on the Symphony of the Seas in December, and it was fabulous. Had an amazing time. Where is that list? Is that list still here? So we have booked well over 120 cabins. And let's see. We booked, I don't know how many Royal Caribbeans. We haven't had any complaints from our clients about Royal Caribbean yet. So it seems to be good from our personal experience. Royal Caribbean is still absolutely amazing. So yeah, they're all still good. When is the Icon preview? Good question, Stacy. We probably won't know until December, to be honest with you, because, you know, they obviously they got to get through their sea trials first and foremost. So the sea trials will really set the schedule for the completion of the ship, because there are certain things that they will not do to the inside of the ship until the sea trials are completed, because they have to go ahead and test certain things. They have to try out certain things. So it'll probably be like the very beginning of January, maybe the end of December if they bring it over early. I fully expect there's only going to be a 2-night sailing for us, just to, you know, go on one of the preview sailings to try it out. I guess is we'll find out in November or December after she does the sea trials. Then they'll have a better set of, you know, how the rest of that schedule is going to play out. I'm excited. I can't wait to see it. She is just so freakishly large and so much. I mean, I don't know what we're going to be. I don't think we're going to be able to sleep for the 2 nights. At least me, I'm going to just be drinking, you know, the little shots of the energy stuff, just so I can stay awake for the 2 days and see everything on the ship. So let's see. You just did an Alaskan cruise on the Royal Princess. Fantastic service. Jaylene's whale watching. Oh, I've not heard of Jaylene's. I've only done Harv and Marv, and they were amazing. So thank you for the shout out. There you go. Another whale watching tour up in Alaska. That looks absolutely amazing. You're going on the NCL Joy New England, Canada cruise in September. Any thoughts? Well, the Joy is a nice ship. I mean, she's a smaller ship. I've got clients on the Pearl, and that's the way that you do New England. I think New England, Canada, you go on those smaller ships. Certainly look at what's going to be open and not going to be open, kind of like our discussion up in Alaska. Of course, that's September. That is prime time. Hopefully, you're going to get to see the leaves and all of that. Check to find out what is going to be a tender and what's going to be a dock, because there are some ports up there where, depending on how many ships are coming in, you may or may not be able to tie up. You might end up being a tender. And when there's a tender, kind of got to add, you know, subtract an hour from your port time just for the amount of time it takes to get there and to get back. But other than that, I mean, just have a great time. I don't have any like major thoughts on that, but have a good time. First time cruising on an 11-day Disney Dream in the Med. Ooh, any must-dos on the ship? Remy, the restaurant Remy. If you haven't booked a dinner there yet, we were on the Fantasy, and to this day, still quite possibly the best meal I've ever had in my entire life. It was absolutely amazing. Certainly go see all the shows. Do the Muppet thing. I assume that the little Muppet detective, they have this little detective stuff, mystery stuff throughout the ship. Do that. It's actually a lot of fun, even as an adult. And maybe do the mixology class if they still have it. I did it on the Fantasy and about knocked me on my butt because it was 7 drinks in 45 minutes. Still the best mixology class of any cruise line I've ever done. So it was a lot of fun. Awesome. You cruised to Alaska. Morning. You cruised both Carnival and Disney. Not a fan of Carnival. Recommendations on another cruise line. Well, you may not have been on the right ship. When people say that, oh, I'm not a fan of a certain cruise line, I'm always curious, like, what ship did you go on and what did you expect? And then what did you get? But if you like Disney, then we should certainly take a look at Royal Caribbean and Norwegian Cruise Line, depending on what it is. It just depends on what you liked and didn't like. It also depends on if you're taking kids with you or not. If you have no kids, certainly Virgin Voyages, like if you like Disney, believe it or not, Virgin and Disney are very, very similar, especially when it comes to food quality and service. They're very similar in how they operate. So possibly one of those cruise lines. So we're coming up on 12 o'clock. I actually have client calls in about 15 minutes, so I'm going to have to wrap this up. But thank you, everybody, for joining. So anybody who's here for the first time, every Sunday morning, 10:30 in the morning, we do this every Sunday, most Sundays. And then Thursday nights at 8:30 p.m. on YouTube, we'll be over there. First time cruising on Disney on the Fantasy. Same thing I just said. Remy, go to Remy. You will enjoy it. You will enjoy it. So it'll be amazing. It'll be amazing. Yes, there is a State Department Level 3 issue. We talked about that earlier in the show. So it's up to you whether you want to get off the ship in Jamaica when it goes there. If you don't feel comfortable, just stay on the ship. That's all. So everybody on TikTok, thank you so much for joining us again. We'll be here next Sunday at 10:30 in the morning. No, actually we won't, because we're going to be at Port Canaveral. So I'll figure out what time we're going to go live. But we will be live on YouTube at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Where's Walter Travel on YouTube? So everybody, thanks for joining us on TikTok. Everybody on YouTube, thanks so much for joining us over there. The next time you see me on TikTok live, Wi-Fi willing, we will be on the MSCC side, and that'll be a lot of fun. So watch this channel, and I will post some new things on when we're going to be signing up for that. So everybody, have an amazing rest of your day. See you guys later over on the YouTube side. We'll see you Thursday night, 8:30 p.m.